talking about the GTG guidelines, which is related to the management of third and fourth degree perineal tears. Now this is something which is, this is the guideline again which you can obtain the copy of this from the internet, and this is the guidelines of 2015. This is the GTG guideline 29, and it is very important for those people who are appearing for the MRCG exam to go through these guidelines. So I am just giving you a very brief summary of these guidelines, so that otherwise the entire guideline is very exhaustive. So it will be much easier for you if you just listen to the summary, because I have covered all the important points in this. So whenever you are trying to give an episiotomy, it is better to use the mediolateral approach rather than the midline approach, because the midline approach is likely to cause more damage to the external anal sphincters, or the injuries which are known as OASIS, obstetric anal sphincter injuries. So to avoid this, you should avoid using a midline episiotomy. And also, if you use warm compression during the second stage of labor, it can further help in avoiding the obstetric anal sphincter injuries. Then the figure of 8 sutures, they are usually given to control the hemostasis, but they may result in tissue ischemia during the repair of external anal sphincters. So it is best to avoid these sutures when you are repairing the sphincters. So again, when you are repairing the sphincters, you can use either a end-to-end technique or an end-to-end repair of anal sphincters, or you can use an overlapping technique while you are repairing the anal sphincter. So both these techniques are used, and they can give you the comparable results. But the thing is, if there is a partial thickness repair, which is, so in case there is a partial thickness repair, that means 3A and some 3B. 3A is less than 50%, I told you, and 3B is more than 50%. But 3B will also include those injuries where there is a complete repair, a complete transaction of the external anal sphincter. So you, in case you are performing a repair for partial thickness injury, you should prefer the end-to-end repair rather than going ahead with the overlapping method. But in case it is a complete transaction, I mean the complete sphincter has been injured, in that case you can use both the techniques, end-to-end repair as well as the overlapping technique. And both these techniques, they will give you comparable results. So this again I have discussed previously also, that when you are trying to repair the sphincters, you can either use 3,0 polydexanon, or you can use 2,0 Vicryl, and both of these, they have been shown to give comparable results. However, when you are repairing the anorectal mucosa, you want to use a suture which gives you less irritation. So it is better to use 3,0 Vicryl in those cases and avoid using 3,0 PDS, because that may be associated with further discomfort. So if you are trying to repair the anorectal mucosa, the better suture to use would be 3,0 polygalactin or 3,0 Vicryl. So again, this I have discussed previously, that when you are trying to repair the external anal sphincters, then 2,0 polygalactin or 3,0 PDS, both of them, they will give you equivalent results. To reduce the possibility of knot and suture migration to the skin during the repair of obstetric anal sphincter injuries, you must bury surgical knots under the superficial perineal muscles. Otherwise, there is a possibility that they may migrate to the skin and they may cause a lot of irritation. Again, women should be informed that when they are having these repairs, the OASIS repair, that they should also resort to physiotherapy because this is likely to be beneficial. So, women who have had obstetric anal sphincter repair, they should be evaluated and they should be called again after 6 to 12 weeks after delivery for evaluation to see that there is no problem and they are not suffering from any kind of incontinence or any kind of other complication. Now, for all women who have had the obstetric anal sphincter injury in the past and who are exhibiting symptoms, that means they are suffering from symptoms like maybe fecal incontinence, or they are having abnormal endoanal ultrasonography or manometry results. In that case, they should be advised that they should have an elective cesarean delivery in future.